You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Step up today. I mean, big ballers here.
Yeah,
they're all here.
The big fella's out.
Damn.
Man. Yeah.
Gosh, it's looking good.
Welcome
Control room.
Yeah.
Got the full set.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Good to see you. Where's that old Billy in that stupid red sweatshirt he wears?
He's such a dork, Sims. He's such a loser.
Oh, wait, agreed. Damn, me and you got to hang more. I agree.
Oh, no, Tony, This is a great spot for you. It's a great spot
I love
for
Sims.
You. No, because Sims goes after Billy. Tony doesn't like Billy. I mean, you guys can have at it with Billy all you want. This is great. But once again, a no-show for Billy, Sims. It's incredible. I mean,
I've never seen a guy that has no life pretend that he has a life more than Billy. Like, it's incredible. I mean, what's he doing? Dressing up that stupid room in his house again? I mean, what is he doing?
he sent
Is
you a
he
jersey.
in the parking lot at a Marlins gathering again? I mean, what he knows this is what we do. It's the playoffs,
Right.
And he, and then it's always convenient. He loves to not show up when the Dolphins and Tua play like shit. Let me just tell you. That's you. He will run out of that show in a hurry when that happens.
I do want to just be fair to the audience. We begged Billy to join our show, and he said no.
Oh, shit. Oh, I can't
else is
betray
new?
Billy.
Evil cat.
They're not letting him in. I can't betray Billy.
No, we told him to sit this one out because I didn't want it to devolve into God bless football and shitting on Billy Gale. So we're going to move on and talk some pigskin.
But Sims is going to do it anyway. He doesn't give a shit. Sims doesn't care.
Look at this. We got somebody reining us in this week. What are we trying to be professional around?
Oh, there's
here?
a new
This is
sheriff.
Crazy.
There's a new sheriff. We do things different around these parts. Talk a little bit about Mikey A.
Oh, well, Mikey A, I mean, he's awesome. I love Mikey A. He can go a show, 2 shows, and I don't know how he still has a job where he actually doesn't even talk, but he's still on the show. It's amazing.
It's like AJ Hawk.
I'll be like, damn, we've been on here for an hour the last 2 weeks, and you've actually said nothing, and you're getting a paycheck. And I honestly think he's usually taking an edible, and he's just like, I'm just hanging out, getting stoned, listening to Sims talk football and talk shit about Billy. So it's an incredible duo that, Billy and Mikey A. You guys struck gold with those two.
Put it on the poll. Is Mikey A, AJ Hawk? Are they the same person?
You're funny.
Maybe don't put it on the poll. I don't want those engagement numbers, but let us talk some playoff football. You mentioned Tua, and apologies if you did this on any of other Stugotz's properties, but what are we to do with Tua's season? Some people would point out the highlights. Leading passer, hey, he made it through a full season. I'm kind of in that camp. I think he needed to prove that he needed to be healthy for an entire season.
Mike, I would also say he's everything you want your CEO to be. He's everything you want your quarterback to be.
I'd like my quarterback to be able to move out of the pocket.
Yeah, there's other things, but in terms of like leadership, it was weird. He pretended like he didn't care about criticisms when he would go and talk about them, making it pretty clear that he cared about criticisms. Right. And Chris, you're one of those guys that gets lumped in as one of the biggest critics. So
yeah, right.
So what
he
do we
like
do?
Internet trolls, yet he likes them when they troll for him. That's what I've learned about him there.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do? What do we do with this season?
There is a lot of positives, Mike. I think you're not wrong in that. Hey, he still played really good football, right? He did stay healthy. I think that was probably the biggest part of the puzzle. They got to see he could take a full season's worth of beatings and still hang in there and be ready to go. So there was that, certainly. Some of the problems on the team and the offense are not all him. That's for sure, right? And as we know, as much as sometimes this fan bases want to go, oh, well, he'll never get us where we want to go. We're going to ditch him and find somebody else. Well, yeah, who else are you going to find? Tell me. I mean, the groundwork's been laid here with Tua, the offense, the people around him, that it really fits Tua and his skill set in a lot of ways. And the offense is built around him. So my thing would be, I don't expect them to make a change, right? Now, one, I think Mike McDaniel believes in Tua and believes in what they're doing. Two, the thing that I don't love necessarily is I think the GM and Chris Greer is going to do anything he can to justify still picking Tua in the top 5. So they're never going to give up on that. But what I would say here is the big thing, and I think we're talking contract. I'd offer him a contract. It just would be nowhere near top of the market. That's what I would do, because that's what he is. He's nowhere near the top of the market type of quarterback, in my opinion, right? He's not. He's not a superstar, right? I don't think he's top 10 in the NFL, all right? I think he's dancing around those areas, okay? But I think the ultimate big question and problem is going to be some of the things Stugotz has heard me say. When games get ugly, when it's not a track meet and, Tyreek's wide open and there's a screen pass and he runs for 60 yards. And now all of a sudden, it's cold, it's windy. I got to stand in the pocket and people are surrounding me and I got to make big throws in those elements, not just like Tyreek wide open over the middle, right? That's where I question Tua's ability overall, or whether he can carry the team through those moments. And that's where I'd say, no, I don't think he can really do those things. So therefore, you shouldn't pay him a ton of money, and you got to keep some of that money to build the pieces around him. And I would also call his bluff and be like, well, go out in the market then. Tell me who else is going to pay you more than $25-30 million a year. Tell me. So that's how I would handle it. I'm just interested to see if Chris Greer, the GM, who's sewn together with Tua, will actually take that approach, which I think is truly the right approach to take in this situation. I'm not trying to be a jerk or funny or anything there.
Chris, two-parter here. One, would you give him, if you give Tua a $200 million plus contract, it's kind of a death sentence for the organization. One. Two, you give him No, I'm establishing.
That was a statement or a question?
No, that's a first part of the statement. Second part
it's
is
a statement, though.
Into question.
Now into question. Thank you, Jess. Would you give him a Daniel Jones type contract where it's maybe a little bit more front loaded for like 160, maybe 80 guaranteed, somewhere in that neighborhood? Three part. Hold on. Three. And I think you're going to agree with me because you're my boy.
Write these down.
So closing with a statement.
There's another statement of agreement.
It's Mike, by the way.
Yes, Billy is an evil cat. No, what I was going to say is, Chris, I don't want my quarterback, after getting his ass kicked, going to trade jerseys with the quarterback that kicked his ass. Not happening.
Statement.
Well, I hear you there. There's a grittiness and a toughness of Tua that I think we would all like to see a little more of, right? Yeah, I don't think Tom Brady or Mahomes or anybody after a big loss would run over to the other guy and go, "Can I have your jersey?" Can you picture Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or anybody like that doing that?
Never.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Nope.
Come on. Let alone there's some other things that have been said and done where I want to go, come on, relax, everybody. Those are things that I think can be improved with Tua, and be part of the reason to I think your point of, why I wouldn't back up the Brinks truck and just go, here you go. You tell us how much you want and, we'll pay you whatever. Again, this is something that I think NFL teams, even before the Tua conversation, are messing up. I do. I don't know why NFL teams feel the need to, my quarterback contract's up, so now we're going to make him the highest paid. If I was running a football team, I'd go, Patrick Mahomes makes this. None of you are Patrick Mahomes, and you're going to make less than that until you show me you're better than Patrick Mahomes. Then we'll pay you more. That's how it used to work. I don't know where it all went wrong. Nobody surpassed Brady or Manning forever because everyone was like, you're not Brady or Manning, so you don't get to do that. So, yeah. And that's to your point to Daniel Jones. Yes, I think that's the sweet spot. 3 or 4 year deal where it's a lot of money up front, but you can get out of it after a year or two and not ruin your franchise. And I will even say, as a Daniel Jones fan and as Giants fan, we gave him too much money too. These teams got to stop negotiating against themselves. That's what they do. Who was going to pay Daniel Jones more than $40 million a year last year? It's literally like these teams are like, I'll give you 30. Yes. Oh, no, forget it. We'll give you 35. Yes. Oh, no, we'll give you 40. I don't understand what they're doing at sometimes with these negotiations.
Sims, are you paid per F-bomb?
I mean, the edits right now.
No, I'm not. But I embrace my F-bombs on anything that's not a live TV show. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Are we on God Bless Football? Are we on?
We have no idea, Sims. Yeah,
no, we do. We're on main show, the flagship,
show.
baby.
We're main show. So I feel bad that I'm swearing. But no, once I get outside of Sunday Night Football, I've gotten the green light from NBC that I can kind of swear, and you know me enough in real life. That's how I talk. So I just let it go. I have a good stopper or brake pad when I'm on live TV and it's like big NBC. I'm pretty good in that department.
Chris, better story for you, Baker Mayfield or the Lions?
Oh, they're both great stories. Baker Mayfield is the one I'd go with, though. All right. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Go ahead. What you
want? He said Chris. I just got confused for a second. That's
Chris Cody is so used to be talking to him that he thought I was actually asking.
Classic Chris humor.
And not the football expert. Classic Chris. It was great, Chris.
It's better with the mic off.
We'll get to Chris in a moment because I'm interested in what he thinks too. But I love the Lions story. I think we kind of felt or had a feeling this was coming. The Baker Mayfield thing, I feel like, is out of nowhere, right? For most people. Stugotz, you've heard me defend Baker Mayfield over the last 2 years. I've been one that's like, hey, he's a starting NFL quarterback. You know, you put him in a crappy situation in Carolina and he goes into a weird situation with the Rams. You're not going to look good. You're not. We could have put a lot of big-time quarterbacks in those situations, and I would have gone, you know what I always say, you're around crap, and crap's going to get on you, and you're going to start to smell like crap. And that's what Baker Mayfield was stuck in. And he got screwed over in Cleveland, too, and they did him dirty. So by that, I love the Baker story. And then especially because it's like, wait, the Buccaneers, they have $80 million in dead money. They're not going to be as good with Tom Brady, and actually they're better. So I think from that standpoint, I do like the Baker story better.
Do the Packers have a chance against the Niners? I love the Packers. I love Jordan Love, man.
They got nothing to lose. That's what's scary. Nobody expects them to be here, right? I worry about the Packers defense. They're talented but young. We know Joe Barry and that defense have had some kind of a roller coaster there. That's my biggest worry. Right? And we know the 49ers offense is phenomenal. Now, they're not going to be outclassed talent-wise. This Packers team is extremely talented. They're just young and immature and figuring out how to play big-time football here, right? But if I'm Joe Barry on the defensive side of the ball, you can't just do what you always do. It's Shanahan. He'll break you down. You got to throw some curveballs. The Green Bay Packers offense, I do think has a chance to move the ball on the 49ers. The 49ers D, not as good as it's been the last few years. And Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur are dangerous. Their offense is creative. It's rooted in Shanahan and McDaniel. You guys see it. It's motions and shifts everywhere. Jordan Love will stand in the pocket with good protection and throw the ball down the field, and they can run the ball too. I think they hang around. I'm picking the 49ers to win. But I do think the Packers hang around. I went 49ers 30-21.
PFT with Mike Florio every day on Peacock, Football Night in America, the Unbuttoned podcast as well. Chris, we have less than a minute here. Chris Sims I'm talking to. We have less than a minute here. Your thoughts here on C.J. Stroud, Lamar Jackson. I think the Texans have a real opportunity because all the pressure is on Baltimore. There is no pressure on the Texans, Chris.
No, a lot like we were just talking about Green Bay. Nobody expect them to be here. You're going to be, oh, wait, we got to call a trick play, do something, steal a possession. We got to go all in and maybe do some things that we're not comfortable doing. And that's always dangerous. I think the Ravens, like the 49ers, the whole year has been get the Super Bowl. That's it. I think they know they lost as the 1 seed a few years ago to the Tennessee Titans at home, and they were just happy to be a 1 seed, and we won the MVP. This year, I don't think they give a crap about anything. I don't think they'll be caught sleeping here. I think the Ravens are in a different class than the Houston Texans. I know the Texans are dangerous, definitely. I got the Ravens winning by 10. I just think they're too well-rounded of a football team throughout their roster. They're well-coached on both sides. I went Ravens 27-17.
All right, Sims, a short one for you this week. No, Billy, a short one for you. It's like a vacation for you. Congratulations and thank you, man.
It's crazy. I feel like I'm cheating the audience, but it was great. And it was entertaining with this crew here and No Billy and Mikey A. I like this crew.
Okay. They'll be back next week.
Ah, darn it.
What? Okay, I'm in. All right.
As long as we don't shit on Billy.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, guys. See you. Be good.
Talk to you.
Bye, Chris. Oh, wait.
Thank you. Oh.
The Dan Lebitard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Therapy can be helpful for personal growth, managing mental health challenges, improving relationships, or coping with life changes. Embarking on therapy in the new year can be a positive and transformative step for many individuals. Personal growth and change take time. Be patient with yourself and acknowledge the progress, no matter how small. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Don Le Batard.
It's been a lovely cruise. Oh man, that's my outro. That's as my casket is being lowered.
Jesus.
I'll have been cremated a week before, but we'll do the casket thing just for show. And as my casket is being lowered,
Wait a minute. Whoa, empty casket?
Yeah, it'll
Closed?
be empty. Just for show.
Well, what's the redundancy there?
we're going to put on a public display.
Yeah, naturally.
Stugotz.
What do you do with the ashes?
You're going on a lovely cruise.
Exactly. Maybe we'll throw him over. My wife will throw him overboard.
I would
as she's
assume-
necking with her new husband.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
It's Thursday, and you know what that means? Thursday Thunder.
Thursday Thunder.
Different game, Chris. Different game. That's later on in the week. There we go.
We have the imaging.
It's there somewhere. Here we go. There it is. All right. A very carefully crafted Thursday Thunder by the one and only Juju Gotti. I am here to read it for you.
Check out his new merch.
Yes, please, on the merch store. All right, we'll start here in the first leg. Over 37.5 yards for Romeo Doubs. I like that a lot, actually. Had 160 yards last week.
Yeah. I like the Packers a lot.
Wide
I
open
do.
the whole game.
Yeah.
Packers are good.
Got the Packers on the money line again.
That's not part of Thursday
Yeah,
Thunder.
different
I know.
game,
Listen, I was just.
You can
putting
save
it out
that
there.
one for when we play Moneyline.
My apologies.
Both one seeds can't cover, right? I know. Sorry, we're doing a different show. But
Save it for you.
got to figure out which one's
Yeah,
going to
different
cover.
show.
One's going to cover, one's going to not. We got to figure out which one, folks.
You seem very invested in this. Second leg. Over 29.5 receiving yards for Cade Otton. Had a couple drops last
That guy.
Cotton.
Oh, that guy. Had him first to score.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice one.
We have him over 29.5 yards against the Detroit Lions this Sunday. We go into the association. Over 12.5 points for Vince Williams Jr.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12.5 points.
I like it. No John Morant.
Last and final leg, we'll go back to the NFL. 14.5 is the line for Isaiah Pacheco rushing attempts.
Oh, we're
So we're
smashing
14.5 over.
We're over.
For Isaiah Pacheco. All that gives you a nice little plus 475 parlayski for Thursday Thunder.
I want to be a little bit more fair to Juju, who's done some good work on our merch store. We just basically said, go check out the merch store. But let's give you a detailed for those following on our video channels, youtube.com/@LeBatard Show and on DraftKings Network. All you need to do is head over to lebetardaf.com/Juju-Jules, and you can see the exclusive Juju Gotti collection. And I'm looking at an image right now of a Foot Girls t-shirt that makes me very happy.
What's that?
Foot. Oh.
Footies. Check out the footies this week.
Yeah, so check that out at our shop, and thank you so much, Juju Gotti, for all the hard work that you put in. Stugotz, back to you.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Chris Cody, it seems like you're very upset about people throwing snow in Buffalo. Like, you've been upset about it since the game was played. It's snowing again this weekend in Buffalo. I imagine they're going to try to do it again to Patrick Mahomes, but you seem very upset about this.
Well, it just seemed like everyone was just okay with it. Like if they were throwing actual like baseball, like
I
you know what I
wasn't
mean?
okay with it.
Oh, you're a Steelers
I was
fan.
screaming on my TV.
And I actually
Those
I had the Bills, so it was just more like, what's going on here that this is acceptable? Like, why aren't we making announcements? But then we were talking in the break, if you make an announcement, then all the Steelers fans are going to just throw and try to act like they're Bills fans. It was a dangerous game. And part of me, and then midway through it, I realized maybe I want this more. Maybe home field advantage should be like this. Maybe what would we do at Dolphins games? What could we throw?
Cocaine.
Different kinds.
Cocaine.
Well, we make them stand in the sun. I mean, that's
I like the idea of us throwing cocaine.
8 balls.
A very expensive throw. Chris, when you talk about the snowballs, you mean at the players in the
There
field,
was a
or when
play.
they throw them in the stands?
George
'Cause I love
Pickens,
that.
a deep ball to George Pickens.
It was
I'm watching the
touchdown. It was a
replay.
touchdown pass.
He dropped it.
He's the ball.
Snowball
The
was nowhere
football's
near.
falling as the football. As you see him trying to concentrate on the pass, you see a snowball come flying through. Great throw by whoever did that. I mean, like you are doing your part, sir or ma'am. But that was just, I don't know how I feel about this. I want chaos, but it seemed unfair.
It didn't seem like what happened.
Oh, Thursday Thunder is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports.
What?
So sorry to our esteemed partners over at DraftKings. We do these not just because we like Thursday Thunder, but because it's a great opportunity to promote. And when we miss a liner, that's a bad mess up on my part. So, everybody, just know that Thursday Thunder is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code Dan, because it's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I love the snow celebration. I think when you're throwing snow, it's got to come from deep within the stands, right? You don't want to be front row throwing snow at people. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, that didn't interfere with Pickens catching the pass. No, it didn't.
It was way behind
Get out of
him.
here.
It was way behind
That's because it was way behind him. Imagine a scenario where it like slow motion like hits him in the face. Like this is insane that we're just like, hey, it's snow, so we're allowing this. Like it, I keep going back and forth. I want chaos, but it's like it's not right. It's not right.
So
I'm with Jess. Don't do that to George Pickens.
How do you stop it, though? I mean,
I don't think that the Steelers fans would throw snowballs in an attempt to frame Bills fans. I think there are ways to suss that out. Sure, if someone goes as far as to be a covert Bills fan while they're actually rooting for the Steelers to do this, at that point I just tip my hat. What a plan! Like this, who could have seen this coming? You predicted that an announcement would go over the air, but we've seen that before, be it with beer bottles or with snowballs. They announce
dildos too, yeah,
dildos as well.
Yeah.
They announce over the PA, hey, no more throwing objects onto the field. If you continue to do so, your team is subject to a penalty, and that normally corrects the behavior.
At least they were kind enough to throw the dildo not in the middle of a play, though. Like, I'm okay with dildos being thrown.
No,
just
the
don't
first
throw
one
it at
was in the
George
middle of the
Pickens'
play.
face.
It's just hard to get that because it's just flopping around.
It wasn't
in
at
the
his
air.
face.
Doesn't have. It's not as aerodynamic as a snowball.
You're playing the result here. You're not mad because the snowball was a bad throw.
I have no doubt it would have been a bigger deal if the snowball hit him in the actual face.
Like, imagine like a key play in a playoff game.
It was a key play.
You want to talk about home field advantage?
Yeah, and by the way, it doesn't need to actually hit him to still distract him. His job is to lock in on a target, and all of a sudden, bogey on my left.
Yeah, but you tell fans to stop, they're going to do it more.
No, not if it penalizes the team.
But then there was a lot of Steelers
Did
fans.
not just hear me.
Ball should have been on the 1 yard line.
Generally, stop it.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
But Mike, in my experience,
I have no rebuttal.
when you tell a bunch of
I don't know how you
I don't know how I disarm that.
Want
Yes,
the
they do.
stadium announcer to say, "Hey, no more throwing snow. If it happens again, the refs are going to penalize
generally
our
when
team."
you announce on a big speaker a bunch of drunk people to do something, they tend to not listen.
No, not
Thank
really.
you.
Not really. Again, I've seen the behavior corrected, and sometimes it doesn't. It begins with the PA, and yeah, sometimes they do it more. And then the head official gets on the microphone, and then they actually issue a penalty.
And then Greg Popovich gets in there.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
can we cut that shit out?
Like,
Where were you?
Can you
That's
imagine
not how we do it here.
McDermott gets a microphone
were
like,
you,
guys,
McDermott?
that's it.
Wait.
Show some respect.
I guess maybe it's because I like to bet a lot and I watch a lot of football. I've seen these scenarios play out. Like, I've seen the snowballs continue,
But you see
and then
everything-
I've seen the penalties issued.
Bona fides.
Yeah, but you see everything through a gambling prism, Mike. I mean,
Well, the gambling prism allows me to see all of these games and be prepared for the next scenario in which there's snowballs being thrown onto the field. How has this happened before? I got to tell you, my gambling losses should be a write-off because it gets me so informed over the years. I've seen everything.
it's
You
work,
can write
huh?
off your contributions to the Miami Hurricanes NIL collective.
We talking?
Sorry, it was a
more?
bad joke. Gambling.
Build a dome, you don't have to throw snowballs.
Enough with the domes.
They want snowballs. That's what gives them home field advantage.
Yes.
Cheating.
We need to figure out what
And
every
moving the
stadium
games.
can throw. Like
Steelers
what?
won on Sunday.
Like, let's pick a random one. Like in Vegas, what are we throwing in Vegas? Little chips, like Poker chips.
Poker chips, yeah, probably.
You want
also
to assign,
cocaine.
You want to assign one foreign object.
Yep.
To each stadium.
That can be a projectile
Yes.
for that.
Brown. What are we doing in Cleveland?
Snowballs.
I mean, they famously threw bottles.
Yeah, beer bottles in
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
What are we doing in Baltimore?
They should throw dog bones though in
Baltimore's
Cleveland.
lame.
Crabs, throw crabs on the
Crabs.
field.
Throw milk
I guess
bones.
crabs.
Dude, imagine live
Milk
crabs.
San Francisco, acid.
Clam chowder in a bread bowl. Bread bowl.
Haight Ashbury.
It's only in Haight Ashbury, though, yeah.
But I've been watching sporting events where bottles of urine are thrown on players, batteries.
In Seattle, it's just buckets of water.
They throw fish. They throw the fish in Seattle.
Because of my,
Just chucking fish.
because of my betting, I know what the ground rules are when there's a tree next to the goal. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. But what happens if a soccer ball hits a tree that's hanging over the goal? Now I know.
Pittsburgh, they just throw slag.
What field is this where there's a tree hanging over the...
Oh, CONCACAF Champions
What are you
League.
betting on?
CONCACAF
Is this like
Champions
intramural?
Everything, Chris.
Dude, CONCACAF Champions League, a sicko's delight.
Come on, Mike.
It is. And there's another sicko's delight tournament going on right now, African Cup of Nations.
Right.
Which inconveniences like the club teams because they have this competition going on simultaneously as, there's a lot of great African players and Mo Salah is playing for Egypt, not for Liverpool right now. And these games, good luck betting them. It's just a doggy's delight.
So why are you doing it?
Because I am a doggy who delights. I'm
gambling again.
Hey, it's Mike Ryan. I love football, and I love Miller Lite. Why do I love Miller Lite? Well, dependable flavor, the fact that it's a beer that tastes like beer, the fact that when I'm having a Miller Lite, I don't have to think for 1 second about the beer that I'm drinking. And I know that it's only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. It's my favorite beer. I believe in the product. You might be sick of hearing me talk about it, but I'll be talking about it till I'm old and gray because Miller Lite is with me wherever I go, no matter the season, and especially the wintertime. I love drinking Miller Lite during the winters because when it's cold outside, I don't need a koozie for it. It stays a perfect temp. It is the best beer, and it pairs well with playoff football. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Batard.
All of us who were watching college football elevated everything the weekend was because we missed football in general so very much.
You didn't watch the ending of UTEP Jacksonville State. It was awesome.
A doozy.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Stugotz.
It's such a lane for you. Just everything in college football is awesome. Any single thing that happens, she gets deliriously happy about.
Don't you miss viewing sports through that prism, though? Like, I'm envious of Lucy. Like, I wish that I could still be happy.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We'll get to Tony's top 5 here in a second. I'm reading reports that Belichick is now taking a second meeting with the Atlanta Falcons. I cannot see Bill Belichick after, I don't know, a quarter century with the Patriots, 6 Super Bowls with Brady. I just can't see the Falcons. It seems weird to me.
There's a lot of reputable reporters out there. Josina Anderson says that this is the expectation, and he's going to end up head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, a team that he famously had a huge comeback on in a Super Bowl. But I actually think it's a good spot.
Why?
Well, I kind of said it jokingly, but it's true. If anyone knows the value of playing in a weak division, it's Bill Belichick.
Yes.
He's built this legacy in part because over that run with New England, he played in such a weak AFC East. It's certainly winnable. They had a team that, from a talent perspective, you can address a quarterback, and there's going to be hell. Baker Mayfield's a free agent. I'm not saying that that's the answer there, but this is a very winnable division. And Arthur Blank seems to be a really good owner over there. I like the move for him.
A lot of good pieces, a lot of young pieces that already have their rookie contracts. And one piece of the puzzle is seemingly starting to fit in. We're missing the second piece of the puzzle I told you on Tony's Top 5 2 weeks ago. Belichick, Kirk Cousins, collision course with Atlanta.
You love doing that, don't you?
I know, but
I told you 2 weeks ago.
First piece of the puzzle, almost there.
Now, this top 5 that Stugotz made reference to, this isn't your traditional Tony's top 5.
No.
The loved and adored
Just
benchmark.
a standard top 5.
This is a standard top
Yes.
5 that is canon within the Levitor universe.
I'm looking forward to it. But Bill Belichick can go wherever he wants,
It would feel
except
weird
for
no matter
Dallas.
where he went, though, right? Like we're just used to seeing him be the Patriots.
Philadelphia would make more sense if that job becomes available.
Right. I was
Doesn't seem like it will be.
When you spoke to Dan earlier and you guys were talking about McCarthy, and I think it was you that made the point, like, why would Jerry Jones decide to keep McCarthy over Bill Belichick? Don't you think that he back-channeled and the announcement to keep Mike McCarthy came after he did a check-in with Bill Belichick? Because I do.
For sure.
So you're wondering who made that decision?
Well, it's just being presented
You're
as...
thinking that Jerry called Belichick and Bill was like, I'm not interested.
Well, they're apparently friends,
Right.
Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick.
No, I know they are.
I think for pretty obvious reasons. Look, Jerry's had some success handing over the reins. We all know that Jerry prefers having the glory for himself, or as he's dubbed it, glory holes. I'm not putting words in his mouth.
Whoa.
That's been a Jerry Jones thing. Look up the clip. But, it's an odd fit, I think, just given personality dynamics. And I think Arthur Blank is a perfect kind of owner. Keep in mind, you also have to remember what Bill Belichick left behind in New England, where there was a bit of a power struggle. At times he won, at times he lost with Robert Kraft. Does he want to sign up for that? No. We'd rather go to Arthur Blank, who's not as opinionated.
As a Falcons fan, this must be a huge mind though, if he does actually become the head coach. Like, I can't imagine.
Why is he choosing us?
For me as a Steelers fan, like, I've hated Bill Belichick my whole life because he's just beaten the Steelers so many times. If he was the next head coach of the Steelers, I would probably throw up in my mouth.
Yeah, I got to tell you, even though I'm not a Browns fan anymore, it was weird seeing him as a Browns quarterback and seeing all the fanfare and all the memes and how in love the Cleveland Browns fans how hard they fell for Joe Flacco, because I was watching that from the prism of Mike fandom from years ago, and I hated Joe Flacco. That was just very odd.
I'm kind of torn on Belichick because there's part of me that wants to root against, like, part of me wants him to go to Atlanta because I feel like he'll fail there and it would be like good. But then there's part of me that, like, there's a nostalgia part of me that, like, wants Bill Belichick to still be in the league and be successful. So I'm torn on what I'm rooting for.
The league's better with Belichick.
I feel you.
Like, I think I'm rooting. Like, I think I've talked myself into. I want him to actually succeed. So I want him to be in the NFC. So he's not dealing with the Dolphins.
Look, the NFL's been, when they have an aging wrestler that is going to retire, you'll have that wrestler put younger wrestlers over. And you have this cool little Venn diagram of an era in time where there's a passing of the baton. And lucky for us, we got to see that in real time. We got to see Brady versus Mahomes. We got to see this Chiefs team wrangle the AFC away from New England. But I will say, even though the NFL is perfectly healthy, insane numbers, biggest streaming event in the history of the world, I miss Tom Brady this year. And I miss him mainly on primetime games, especially when we went through that 3/4 run of the NFL season where we were hitting every under in primetime games. And I was wondering, what is this? Is this a fluke? Partly. But also, there's no Tom Brady playing in these marquee games.
I know.
You knew what you were getting with Tom Brady every time out.
Josh Allen's not enough? I mean...
No, he different stars.
Right.
Different stars. But I did miss Tom Brady this football season.
Did you miss Aaron?
I did miss Aaron.
So did I.
Now,
what do you mean? He hasn't gone anywhere.
He hasn't
been everywhere the whole time.
He's been more active than when he played.
Yeah, it's a bummer because it doesn't appear like Aaron and I agree as much as I would have liked
on
to
anything,
believe.
Mike, really on anything.
But I'm still a huge fan of what Aaron Rodgers did as a pro. Still, for my money, a top 3 quarterback that I've ever seen from a talent perspective. Not achievements, but at his peak. You can put it right up there with the peak of Mahomes, the peak of Brady in terms of that guy is just executing at this insane level. And how can you not have respect for that? What I miss the most out of Aaron Rodgers missing this season is, for whatever reason, random occurrence, COVID, injury. We've never seen Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. And again, we missed out on that. Even though that was a huge game and Zach Wilson ended up winning that game. It was a highly rated affair. I would like to see that, and I don't know how many more chances I'm going to have.
I think we're holding on to the past, but the new thing is to see Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. We're going to see it again this weekend, right?
So the NFL rigged the game so that the Bills would win against the Steelers, and they moved it to Monday, and they let them throw snowballs at George Pickens. I've been saying this all week.
Okay.
But there's never been a run like the one of Tom Brady in sports. There's never been a run that of Bill Belichick's.
Right.
Lucky for that one particular market, it happened on the same exact team.
But I just figured Belichick learned, like, hey, I can't do this without a quarterback. And he's choosing the Atlanta Falcons, who don't have a quarterback currently.
Not yet.
What
are they going to do?
They're going to go get somebody else.
Trade for Justin Fields?
Maybe. Ritter's not the answer. We know the Green Lizard is a good backup, but he's not your starter.
Yeah,
There's going to be quarterbacks out there they can get.
With Atlanta, it was an odd situation because they weren't just a quarterback away. They were also very clearly a head coach away, too. Right. And so even if you have him and say he rocks with a Heineke or Ritter there, they would be much improved. I don't rate Arthur Smith any. So just from a head coaching move alone, you've turned, if everything stays the same, which it doesn't, this is the NFL, if everything stays the same in that division, they'd be the clear odds-on favorite.
Bring in Josh McDaniels, too, have him run the offense. Like, there's stuff that he can do.
I feel like that's got to be
still
one,
doing that.
That's
Huh?
got to be
He's
one
for sure going to get a
stipulation.
job, for sure.
Arthur Blank needs to be like, all right, Belichick, you can come in. No McDaniel. And no, like, who the hell, like, who's like his just guys? Like,
I think that's what scared
Patricia.
Jerry Jones
no
away.
Patricia?
Yes.
No
McDaniel.
It's
very confusing.
It's a fun.
Josh
The
McDaniels.
Miami guy doesn't have the S.
But, Mike, do you think that's what scared Jerry Jones? The fact that Belichick was, perhaps they had a conversation. I'm bringing all my guys. I'm in charge. And Jerry's like, no.
I would bet my life, even though that's a drastic move, I would bet my life that
It's too much to bet, Mike.
That
It's not
Jerry
important
Jones
enough,
kicked the tires.
Don't bet your life.
And
I love a kicking of the tires.
I'm marking it.
Like, wait, Jerry Jones had to have kicked the tires on
Of course.
Made a call for sure, especially if they were down a half.
Wouldn't that have been reported, though?
I thought Bill Belichick
We're hearing about all these meetings.
What if it's a text from Jerry?
We're only hearing about the Falcons meetings.
What if it's a text from Jerry to Bill?
I thought Bill Belichick was
Bill,
going
what are
to
you
come
doing?
out during that game at halftime and coach the second half of the Cowboys.
Who's that coming out of the tunnel? Oh, my God.
I wouldn't bet my life on it.
Let's get to Tony's top five. What is your top five, Tony?
Guys, this is a very exciting top five. It's what dads say while watching football.
Ooh, I like this.
All dads say these things.
Okay.
And I'm very excited about it.
Every dad.
Every dad says a version of something like this. And I've heard it from my dad, from my father-in-law, from dads that I watch football with. A lot of these things are said. Number 5, let him play, ref.
I've said that, yeah.
Dads love saying let him play.
Yeah. Chris, ever say it?
It conveys toughness. It's like, let him play.
Play a ticky-tack defensive call. He's like, oh, come on, let him play.
I got you.
Number 4, there's holding on every play, you know. Whether they decide to call it or not.
I've said it right in front of my kids.
Number 3, and this one's a very specific one, but you'll get where I'm going, so I'm going to lay the foundation here. Imagine there's a punt, right? And that punt returner fair catches the ball inside of his own 10-yard line. I know what it is. Yeah. What happened? This is what the dads say. What happened to planting your feet on the 10-yard line and letting everything go over your head?
You know, Dad says that's...
You plant your feet on that 10-yard line. That ball goes over your head.
Wait,
let
Jess,
it go.
No,
Jess,
Tony, the new rule is 5. But it used to be 10.
Jess,
and
your
we
dad
were better for it.
Your dad ever say that?
I've never heard my dad say, plant your feet on the 10.
Oh, you got to.
Plant your feet on the 10. Let that ball go over
If
your
it
head.
goes over your head, you let it go.
Hold on a second.
To me, it's more. It's simpler than that. It's just you got to let that go.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Rather
That's
than
what
like
it
I've
is.
never heard the 10.
You got to let it
thing.
go.
That's
yeah.
exactly
Plant
what
your
it is,
feet on the
Tony.
10.
Plant
No
your
dad
feet-
has ever said that.
Plant your feet on the 10.
No.
Dads at no balls.
Just
No.
let it go.
Plant your feet on the 10. Let that ball go over your head.
Dad's at no ball.
That-
Lucy, your dad ever say that?
Never.
Doesn't
Not
know
once.
ball. Jeremy, your dad ever say that?
Actually, yeah, I think so.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
he knows ball.
Knows ball.
Yeah. He knows ball. All right, number 2.
Number 2, what's a defender supposed to do there? Can't hit high, can't hit low. Where do you hit him?
Say it all the time.
That's all of us.
Are you just replaying Bullock and Smetty episodes? Because that's like once a week.
He's a dad.
He is a dad.
He
And
gets
a
so
daddy.
outraged.
But it's true. Where do you hit him? Got to hit him in the middle now.
Yeah.
How do you even do that?
Yeah, I always like that. Where are you supposed to hit him? The middle? But sometimes it's not possible.
Gotta go low.
All right, number 1.
Number 1. This is the reason why I made this list is for number 1. So as you see everything here, number 1 is, and we're gonna have to put this on a shirt, and I heard it in here already. Big third down here.
That was my guess.
Dads everywhere. Get to the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
Look around and say, big third down right here.
All the time.
Second
Every
downs are never
single time.
big.
Nah, it's a big third down.
Downs, well, it's third down or punt, Chris.
You know what else I like to lean on? Heard footsteps.
Yeah, hear footsteps. Should have had that. We need a shirt that says big third down here.
Oh, he started looking where he was running instead of catching the ball.
Cardinal rule.
Big third down is probably...
Yeah. That's in the same family as this could be the game here. Yeah. Right?
Games on the line.
I'd say that to Cynthia all the time.
Yes.
This could be the
ball game. Yeah.
We got to stop here. That's a ball game.
Tell Jenny, big third down. And she's like, what? And I'm like, don't worry about it.
She doesn't believe me anymore because of the Georgia Tech game. When I was doing the math in my head at like a minute 30, I'm like, that's a ball game.
We were talking lowest UM moment. That's the ball game. We were talking lowest UM moment. I figured that would be the lowest UM moment right there.
Not even close.
Mike, all you had to do was go into victory formation.
You guys were undefeated.
Yeah, it's just not. The FIU by far.
I really want to replay the video of what just happened in the next segment because Tony went for a high five and just there was no.
No,
one
I thought
there
he was.
to
I
meet
saw
him.
it.
There
I
was
saw
no
it.
one there.
I saw it. Miming.
I was looking at something else. I was trying to go.
Oh, it was so good.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hey, it's Mike Ryan. I love football, and I love Miller Lite. Why do I love Miller Lite? Well, dependable flavor, the fact that it's a beer that tastes like beer, the fact that when I'm having a Miller Lite, I don't have to think for 1 second about the beer that I'm drinking. And I know that it's only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. It's my favorite beer. I believe in the product. You might be sick of hearing me talk about it, but I'll be talking about it till I'm old and gray because Miller Lite is with me wherever I go, no matter the season, and especially the wintertime. I love drinking Miller Lite during the winters because when it's cold outside, I don't need a koozie for it. It stays a perfect temp. It is the best beer, and it pairs well with playoff football. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.